Right, so we're about to start a new topic, and I wanted you to think about how you organise for it because it's a little bit different from the other ones. So this is just a couple of minutes just to explain what I mean by this PowerPoint that you've got here. So where does it fit? That's the thing that most people want to know when they think about this because it doesn't fit in with obviously Parliament and Prime Minister and topics which cover the current news as it happens. So instead, it's more like a history of political ideas bit. And it's in two parts. Here you can see the second part of paper one. So you get a 2 hour paper. The last 30 minutes of that 2 hour paper are going to be answering one question on one of these three topics. But you only get two options. So it's worth bearing in mind that you can't just cherry pick the two that you like because you could possibly get two questions on conservatism or two questions on liberalism or so on. And then at the end of component two, paper two, it's the last 30 minutes on that one. And again, it's you get two questions this time. There are 5 ideologies that they ask about, but we're not studying them all. We're only studying feminism. So you get 2 questions about feminism, and you choose one of the questions about feminism. So it makes sense to take all of these questions in the same folder because they're all examined in the same way. I'll show you that in a moment. There you go, little arrow. You should have a political ideas folder. It should have 4 main topic areas for it. That's for both me and Dom. So you'll be doing conservatism with Dom this term and liberalism with me until the summer. And you should also have a section at the front for assessment. And as I say, all of these questions are assessed on a 24-mark essay plan, and we'll work on that as we work through the topics. So what do you need to know about them? Each set of ideas has really 4 elements to it. One, what are the things they all agree on? And all of the political ideas are based on the idea that there are different types of socialists and different types of liberals and different types of conservatives, but they don't all agree with each other. There are very left-wing socialists or sometimes more moderate socialists, and the same is true of liberals and conservatives and feminists too. Therefore, what are the differences within them? We're going to start by looking at liberals and look at classical liberals of the 19th century and slightly before that as well, and then social liberals. And you'll be thinking, okay, how can it possibly be true that people like Bernie Sanders and Margaret Thatcher could both be described as liberals when they're so different? But they can. And therefore, they would obviously both disagree with each other a lot. So we want to know the way in which different types of liberals disagree with each other over these 4 areas. You see human nature, society, the economy, and the state. We say the same thing for all 4 ideas. All 4 are grouped around the spec, really, is grouped around this idea that there are 4 key themes and they disagree among them. And then lastly, they all have key thinkers. Now, I've left liberalism in here, but each set of political ideas has 5 key thinkers. And if you remember in the classroom, over to my right-hand side, the whole wall's covered with 5 key thinkers for each ideology. Now, there's nothing stopping you looking further at beyond the 5 liberals that we look at or beyond the 5 conservatives we look at. But for the examiners, the examiners' reports tell us that they're really only looking for your knowledge of those 5 key thinkers and what the differences are between them and what their main ideas were. Okay, so for liberals, for example, it looks a bit like this. Here are some key things they all agree on. Here are some different types of liberals, classical liberals, modern, and we've got some neoliberals we've just covered up by the yellow bubble there. So the 4 key themes, and then the 5 liberals we're going to think about are these people: John Locke, Mary Wollstonecraft, Betty Friedan, John Stuart Mill, and John Rawls. There's a lot of Johns there. And similarly, when you do the 5 conservative key thinkers we've done, you'll just be looking at those 5 and making sure you know them inside and out. What kinds of questions are asked? They are 24-mark questions, and therefore they're quite different from the source questions you've been used to doing or the 30-mark questions. And they're based on having 3 big paragraphs, one where we normally talk about the ways in which they agree, and then 2 ways in which they disagree. And if you look here, you can see that they're all more or less based on this kind of format. To what extent do different types of liberals or conservatives disagree or agree about the extent to which the economy should be free, or it might be the extent to which the state should be strong, or the extent to which human nature doesn't change or can change. And if you want to see a bit more about how to answer 24-mark questions, you can look here. That's getting ahead of the game now, because we'll do that when we get round to doing some sort of assessment, not for a few lessons. Where can you find out more about political ideas as we're at home trying to find out more things than we would normally in a lesson? Well, you can look at these different places. So there's lots of information on the Google site, and I'll show you that in a moment. The big Edexcel textbook you've got covers them quite well. Here are the page numbers. We will use, I'll certainly use for liberalism, Kelly and McNaughton quite a lot. The books are normally in the library and my classroom, but I'll send you pictures when I want you to do some work from those particular bits of text. But do look at these as well. Tutor2U have some really good resources to help you build up your notes and make sure you've got some decent definitions. Okay, so those are the things you need to know about studying political ideas, new topic for us, and it should make life a little bit easier for you. Okay.